Each section shares cool facts and fun trivia about the colours, their origins, and where you see them in real life. A for amber. Amber is a super cool colour that sits right between yellow and orange on the colour wheel, giving off warm, sunny vibes. It's not just one shade. Amber can show up in over 250 different hues, from classic golden yellow to rare greens and blues, thanks to the way light bounces through tiny bubbles in its fossilized resin. Fun fact, amber's glow is so iconic, it's used in traffic lights and stage lighting, and even symbolizes happiness and optimism in design. Did you know amber is also linked to royalty and was once believed to bring good luck? Pretty neat, right? B for blue. Blue is one of the world's favourite colours and is actually a primary colour, meaning you can't mix other colours to make it. It's the colour of the sky and sea, but interestingly, blue is super rare in nature. Most blue things, like butterflies or blue eyes, actually get their colour from light tricks, not pigments. Blue is known for being calming, boosting creativity, and even helping people focus, which is why you'll see it a lot in offices or study spaces. Fun fact, blue was once so expensive to use in art that only the most important subjects, like the Virgin Mary, got to wear it in paintings. C for cyan is that awesome blue-green shade you see in tropical waters and is made by mixing blue and green light. It's actually a secondary colour in the RGB colour model and a primary colour in printing, CMYK. Fun fact, the planet Uranus looks cyan because methane in its atmosphere absorbs red light, leaving that cool blue-green glow. Cyan is also super calming and is often linked with feelings of freshness and tranquility. Have you ever noticed how many tech brands or hospitals use cyan in their designs? D for denim. Denim as a colour is actually a tertiary colour. It's that classic blue shade you get by mixing primary blue with a bit of black or grey, giving it a muted, earthy vibe that's super versatile in fashion. The iconic denim blue comes from indigo dye, and, fun fact, the word denim comes from the French phrase serge de Nîmes, meaning fabric from Nîmes, France. Denim isn't just blue. You can find it in tons of colours like black, red, green, and even off-white, thanks to different dyeing techniques. Did you know blue denim was originally chosen because it hides dirt well and was cheap to produce? That's why it became the go-to for workwear and blue-collar jobs. E4, emerald. Emerald is a tertiary colour that's all about that rich, vivid green, created by mixing blue and yellow, with more blue making it deeper and more lush. The colour is named after the emerald gemstone, which gets its gorgeous green from trace elements like chromium and vanadium. And, fun fact, emeralds are 20 times rarer than diamonds and have been prized since ancient times for their beauty and symbolism. F for fuchsia. Fuchsia is a super vibrant colour that sits between pink and purple, and it's named after the fuchsia flower, which was itself named by a French botanist after Leonhard Fuchs. It was first created as a synthetic dye called fuchsine in 1859 and later renamed magenta after a famous French military victory. So fuchsia and magenta are often considered twins, but fuchsia is usually a bit more purplish. Fuchsia is made by mixing purple and pink, or by blending red and blue light at full intensity on screens. It's known for symbolising confidence, playfulness, and creativity, and was even chosen as Pantone's Colour of the Year in 2001, as Fuchsia Rose. Do you love fuchsia for fashion, art, or just as a bold pop of colour in your life? G for gold. Gold as a colour is super interesting. It's a tertiary colour that sits between yellow and orange on the colour wheel, and it's inspired by the real metal, which is the only metal naturally yellow or golden. The colour gold has been used since the 1300s to symbolise wealth, luxury and prestige, and in art, Real gold leaf was often used to create that shiny, metallic look for halos and sacred objects. Fun fact, you can get different shades of gold by mixing it with other metals, like copper for rose gold or silver for green gold. So gold jewellery actually comes in a rainbow of colours, not just yellow. Do you prefer gold as a colour in fashion, jewellery, or maybe as a pop of luxury in your home? H for heliotrope. Heliotrope is a super cool tertiary colour, a bright, dynamic shade of purple with pink undertones, inspired by the heliotrope flower that literally turns toward the sun. Its name comes from Greek, meaning sun turning, and it's been linked to creativity, mystery, and energy, making it a favourite for adding a whimsical or elegant touch to fashion and design. Fun fact, heliotrope was a big hit in Victorian times for clothes, and even shows up in classic literature. Plus, it pairs beautifully with mint green or gold for a modern, playful vibe. Would you rock heliotrope in your wardrobe, or maybe as a bold accent at home? So, what do you think? Would you try heliotrope for your next outfit or home decor? Indigo is a fascinating colour, often called a tertiary colour. It sits between blue and violet on the spectrum and is famous for its deep, mysterious vibe. The word indigo comes from the Greek indikon, meaning from India, since the dye was originally imported from there and used as far back as ancient Egypt, where it was even found in mummy wrappings. Fun fact, natural indigo dye starts out green and only turns blue when exposed to air, a magical transformation that's wowed artisans for centuries. Indigo is also known for its calming, introspective energy, and was once so valuable it was called blue gold and sparked revolts and trade wars in history. Would you try wearing indigo, or do you like it more in art and design? So, which one are you, Team Indigo Fashion or Team Indigo Art? Jade is most famous for its lush green shade, but it actually comes in a whole rainbow of colours, like lavender, yellow, red, white, and even black. The most prized is imperial green, which is super vibrant and almost glows because of its high transparency and intense colour. Jade has been treasured for centuries, especially in Asian cultures, not just for its beauty, but also for its toughness and spiritual meaning. Many people believe it brings good luck and protection. Would you rock jade jewellery, or are you just into the colour? Khaki is a classic, earthy colour that blends light brown with hints of yellow and green, giving it that dusty or soil-coloured vibe. Its name actually comes from the Urdu word for soil. It was first used by the British Indian Army in the 1840s for camouflage, and today it's a go-to for military uniforms, outdoor gear and casual fashion because it's neutral, practical and super versatile. Fun fact, khaki isn't just one shade. It ranges from tan to olive drab, and in art it's considered a compound colour because it mixes all three primaries, red, yellow, blue, for that earthy, grounded look. Do you like khaki more for its military history or as a fashion staple? Which one do you prefer? Lavender. Lavender is a lovely tertiary colour made by mixing purple and white, giving it that soft, pale purple vibe with cool blue undertones. It's named after the lavender flower and has been used since at least 1705, with many shades like floral lavender, lavender grey, and lavender blue, each bringing a gentle, calming feel, often linked to elegance and tranquility. Fun fact, lavender is different from lilac, which has pinkish tones. Lavender leans more blue, making it a cool colour, perfect for soothing palettes. It pairs beautifully with neutrals like white or grey, and can add a fresh, sophisticated touch to any design or outfit. Would you like to try lavender for your room decor or maybe in your wardrobe? M for magenta. Magenta is a wild colour fact. It's a secondary colour in the RGB system, made by mixing equal parts red and blue light. It's actually an impossible colour, not found in the visible spectrum. Your brain invents it when it sees both red and blue at once, which is why magenta is sometimes called the colour of the future. Fun bonus. Magenta is the direct opposite of green on the colour wheel and in printing. See MYK. It's actually a primary colour used to make all other colours. Would you use magenta for something bold, like art or fashion? Which of these colours do you like more, lavender or magenta? N for navy blue. Navy blue is a super deep, rich blue that actually gets its name from the British Royal Navy, who started using it for uniforms way back in the 1700s. It's made by mixing blue with a touch of orange or black, which darkens it into that classic, almost black shade. Fun fact, navy blue isn't just a colour. It's a symbol of authority, tradition, and sophistication. And it's everywhere from military uniforms to Ivy League branding and fashion, thanks to icons like Coco Chanel. Even cooler, the original dye came from the indigo plant, which was prized for being super resistant to sun and seawater. Would you rock navy blue for a formal look? O for olive. Olive is a classic tertiary colour made by mixing orange and green, giving it that earthy, brownish-green vibe you see in olive trees and Mediterranean landscapes. It's packed with cool symbolism. Olive branches are ancient symbols of peace and harmony, and the colour itself is linked to balance, nature, and even military uniforms, thanks to its great camouflage abilities. Fun fact, olive trees can live for thousands of years, and the phrase, "extend an olive branch," comes from ancient Greece as a sign of reconciliation and peace. Would you use olive in your home, wardrobe, or maybe even art? For peach. Peach is a sweet tertiary colour made by mixing red, yellow, and white, giving it that soft, warm, and inviting vibe you see in the fruit it's named after. It's associated with comfort, joy, and the freshness of spring, and in some cultures, it even symbolises good luck and immortality. Fun fact, peach is a pastel tint of orange, and it's super popular in interior design for creating cheerful, relaxing spaces. Would you use peach in your room, wardrobe, or maybe for some art? Q for quartz, grey 1. Quartz grey is a subtle, earthy shade made by mixing red, blue, and orange, which gives it a soft, balanced look. 2. As a tertiary colour, it's not found on the standard colour wheel, but is created by blending a primary and a secondary colour. 3. Quartz. Grey is abundant in rocks and minerals, especially in quartz stones, which are known for their grounding and calming properties. 4. The colour symbolises balance, neutrality, and stability, making it popular in jewellery and interior design for a calm, elegant vibe. Would you use quartz grey in your space or maybe as an accessory? R for ruby as a tertiary colour is super interesting. While the gemstone ruby is famous for its rich red, in colour theory, ruby refers to a deep, vibrant red with hints of purple or orange, making it a tertiary colour created by mixing red with either purple or orange. Fun facts. Ruby's name comes from the Latin ruber for red, and in gemstones, its colour comes from chromium in the crystal, which absorbs green light and reflects that intense red. In colour palettes, ruby is prized for its boldness, and is often used to symbolise passion, love, and energy. Would you use ruby for art, fashion, or maybe a bold accent wall? Which of these colours speaks to you more? Quartz, grey, or ruby? S for saffron. Saffron is a gorgeous tertiary colour with a warm golden orange vibe, created by blending yellow and orange, which instantly grabs attention and radiates warmth. Its signature shade comes from the crocin molecule found in the saffron spice, making it not just eye-catching, but also deeply symbolic, representing purity, courage, and divine light in many cultures. Fun fact. Saffron is the world's most expensive spice, and its colour has been used for centuries in art, textiles, and even Buddhist monk robes, though these days turmeric is usually used instead. Would you ever try saffron in your art or home decor? For teal, teal is a cool, tertiary colour made by mixing blue, primary, and green, secondary, landing it right between those two on the colour wheel. Its name comes from the teal bird, which has a striking blue-green stripe on its head. Fun fact, teal is known for its calming, rejuvenating vibe and is often used in wellness branding, tech logos, and even in art by legends like Picasso. It really pops in design and even became a huge fashion trend in the 90s. Would you rock some teal in your style or maybe use it for a creative project? Which of these colours do you vibe with more, saffron or teal? U for ultramarine. Ultramarine is a deep, vibrant blue pigment, originally made by grinding up lapis lazuli, and its name literally means beyond the sea because it was imported to Europe from Afghanistan centuries ago. Fun fact, it was once more expensive than gold and was used by famous artists like Van Gogh and Picasso for its striking colour. Plus, synthetic ultramarine was invented in 1826, making this gorgeous blue much more affordable for everyone. Even cooler, ultramarine can lean slightly violet and is considered a warm blue by some colour theorists, and it's super stable in light and heat, but fades fast with acids. Would you use ultramarine in your art, or maybe for a bold fashion statement? For violet. Violet as a tertiary colour is created by mixing a primary colour, like red, with a secondary colour, like blue, giving us shades like red-violet or blue-violet. Fun fact, violet is actually a true spectral colour, sitting at the end of the visible light spectrum, and has been associated with royalty, luxury, and even mysticism for centuries. In art and design, violet bridges the gap between blue and purple, and its unique, rich hue is often used to add depth, creativity, and a touch of extravagance to colour palettes. Would you try using violet for a bold statement piece, or maybe in your next creative project? Which of these colours would you pick? The word W for wheat. Wheat as a tertiary colour is a soft, warm beige with golden undertones, inspired by sunlit grain fields. Think of a cosy, creamy pastel orange that radiates warmth and optimism. Fun fact, the colour in real wheat grains comes from natural pigments like carotenoids for yellow, and anthocyanins for blue and purple varieties. And wheat has been a staple crop for over 9,000 years, feeding billions and even popping up in products like paper and biodegradable plastics. Would you use wheat as a colour for home decor, or do you prefer bolder shades? X for xanthic is a super vivid, neon yellow or golden colour, and its name comes from the Greek word xanthos, meaning yellowish golden. Fun fact, xanthic shades can show up in nature, like in certain ornamental fish and plants, and the term also pops up in chemistry with the xanthic acids and xanthate salts, which help make things like cellophane. Another cool tidbit, there are over 40 synonyms for xanthic, and it's so bright it's often compared to colours like lemon or canary yellow. Would you ever use xanthic for art, fashion, or maybe even a bold wall colour? Y for yellow. Yellow is one of the oldest colours used by humans, showing up in cave paintings over 17,000 years ago, thanks to natural pigments like yellow ochre. It's a primary colour, meaning you can't mix other colours to get yellow. It's the starting point for making greens and oranges. Yellow is super visible, which is why it's used for taxis, school buses, and warning signs. In different cultures, it's been seen as a symbol of happiness, luck, royalty, and even caution. China considers it lucky, while in Europe, it sometimes meant cowardice. Yellow belly. Fun bonus, Van Gogh loved yellow, and the iconic smiley face is yellow for a reason. It just makes people happy. Would you pick yellow for something cheerful, or do you prefer more mellow colours? So, what's your vibe? Team yellow or something more chill? Z for zucchini. Zucchini, as a tertiary colour, is inspired by the veggies range of shades, from deep green to golden yellow and even striped varieties, making it a fun, earthy colour for design or art. Fun fact, the word zucchini comes from Italian, and the golden or yellow zucchinis are not just pretty, they actually taste a bit sweeter than the classic green kind. Would you ever use a zucchini-inspired colour for painting, fashion, or maybe even your home decor? So, what do you think?